States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
All right. Brenner.
Here. Here.
Clark.
Here.
Browning is not here. Doobie.
Here.
McWilliams.
Here.
Okay. Has everyone read the minutes? Need a motion?
I'll make a motion, Pat.
Second.
Clark.
Yes.
Doobie.
Yes.
McWilliams.
Yes.
Brenner.
Yes.
Do you have any correspondence?
I have none.
Special committee reports, finance?
No, but Charlie, have we started on the budget yet?
Yeah, I'm just going to go through that once it gets to my turn. Yeah.
Okay. That's all I had then.
Health and safety?
Nothing at this point.
Planning?
Nothing.
Tom?
No, nothing.
Do you have anything on civic organization? Tony?
No.
Okay. Any old business? New business? Okay.
Legislation. All right. Third reading of ordinance number 2020-46. An ordinance by the City of Wellston replacing relevant sections of Chapter 91 of the Wellston Code Fire Prevention.
Any discussion?
One second.
Brenner.
Yes.
McWilliams.
Yes.
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Third reading of ordinance number 2020-47. An ordinance by the City of Wellston Legislative Authority amending Chapter 93 of the Wellston Code nuisances.
Any discussion?
Yes.
I would say I do too, so.
Okay. So I had a. If you want to go first, Stan, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I apologize. I wasn't here for the first reading. I was out, and then the second reading is when I kind of got caught up on everything. So I'm a little behind on this. I know it's the third reading, but I think we can do better than this. Albeit just to be short of it. There's a lot of weirdness in it. There's one in there about like no honking of horns, a weird one. Then there's we have one in there about no peddlers crying, and then we have phonographs, and it's like we copied an old ordinance from somewhere else, and we just threw it, we put our name on it, and we're just running with it. I looked at a lot of other cities, like I looked at like Illinois, Indiana, Illinois. I looked in Washington. A lot of them have more of a breakdown of like vehicles, like motorcycles. If you have a motorcycle before 1974, you can have 95 decibels. But if you have a motorcycle after 1995, you have to be below 84 decibels. Or that's very normal that they break it down by years and models, and it's a little bit more clear than this one. This one here just kind of, it's like we just stole something from someone else, and it's kind of old. And I think we can do better. It's up to you guys. If you guys want to run with it, I mean, hear what everyone else's thoughts are. But I don't know what you.
The only thing I was going to say is I did a little research, and also the decibel meters you have has to have some sort of readout, because the court's going to want to know what the actual, the decibels were, instead of just saying the officer's word or whatever.
Well, I think, John, didn't you say you were going to purchase some of those?
Yes, I actually researched those a little bit, and I found them for about $40 a piece. So for each one of our cars at regular patrol, for under $200.
But would those have the
I can
readouts,
flip
or
them on.
just,
Yeah, they have digital readouts.
and also some way to record it though? Like you could plug it in to a printer or something?
That would record it.
Oh, okay.
Show
Your
it
body
on the
cam, yeah. So would you, I mean, you're the planning committee, would you want to take that on?
It's already came out of committee.
It came out of committee once. It was in, I think
Roby's committee.
Roby was running it. So I guess some of the things, because there's nothing in here saying it. So if you got a noise complaint on a motorcycle, or if you like, obviously a motorcycle sitting at idle is probably not going to break the noise ordinance. It's going to be whenever you're driving down the road that's going to break the noise ordinance.
Right.
How are you possibly? You can't tell someone to rev their motorcycle up so you can test it, see if they're going to break the law. I mean,
It's funny you mentioned that. I wondered the same thing, so I started
Yeah.
kind of researching it a little bit just on Google.
Yep.
And I saw a video where some city, I think it was in Florida maybe, they had a similar noise ordinance, and once the motorcycle was at 2,000 RPM, they would measure it from so many feet away just to determine the decibel level, but at idle it was fine, and then at 2,000 it would be going down, that's like what it would be revving at going down the street, so that's kind of what they wedged it at. So.
But we have nothing in here saying that you can do any of that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, this is very vague, and it really doesn't speak to motorcycles or cars at all. So it's if our intent is to try to go that direction, this doesn't do any of that. So it's up to you guys. I mean, if you guys want to see if this goes through, we can, or if you guys want to maybe send this back to committee, I think maybe I think that's a better choice. I think we can do something better.
Well, it can always be modified, the ordinance can, but right now we have no ordinance, right?
Correct.
Correct.
So, if you want to get it passed, you go ahead and have it, and you can always modify it, just like the grass ordinance or anything,
Yeah. Well, what's this one really going to provide for us? What are we trying to? What's this going to fix for us? Outside of maybe someone blasting their car radio. The only it does clip car radio. That's the one thing it is.
Yeah, and I think that was like that was the main concern, was like some of these loudspeakers and maybe music they have it if they're having a party or something like that.
I was kind of envisioning neighbor complaints. People complaining about their neighbors making too much noise, playing music or whatever.
Right, and that
Working
I
on these
thought
dirty
that's
cars in the middle of the night. That's the kind of things I was thinking about.
and that's kind of what I thought too.
And
we don't-
doesn't there have to be a complaint issued before
Yes.
anything's done anyway?
Yes.
The police can't just pull someone over if they're going through town blaring a radio.
In that instance, yes. I was referring to like
The house.
patrol neighborhoods with that thing out the window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan?
The issue that we have is exactly what the chief is talking about. People call and say my neighbor's stereo is too loud next door, especially in our apartment complexes. That's where the issue arises. It's not so much people driving down the street, or we obviously don't have any 4-lane or 6-lane highways, interstates that we have noise problems with. It's mainly just to be able to deal with a complaint that we have from the public. As far as code enforcement goes, the only thing I've dealt with is the sound of is generators running at 4 o'clock in the morning. Folks that don't have electricity that have generators. The noise, as far as that goes. I just wanted to answer that question for you.
I'm not sure generators are covered in here.
I looked through this Exhibit A, and it talks about forms, signaling device, stuff by radios and other devices, and time frames, instruction to repair buildings, schools, courts, churches, hospitals, local noise, business with outside operations. I'm not sure what else you want covered under this. I'm looking at the exhibit that's attached to it. And I mean, I can read the whole thing. No person, business, show, or organization recklessly make or cause to be made or continue to allow participate in loud or unusual noise disturbs the peace and quiet by means of any one or more of the following acts which are hereby expressly prohibited. And you got horns and signaling devices, except for warning the danger sites of like patrol cars and fire trucks, radios, and other devices that disturb the peace. It's all about that, those sort of things. I'm not sure what else we need to add to it. I mean, we can send it back, we can table it, which means it dies, and send it back to committee. But I'm not going to see where there's a photograph in here. That out.
It is in the one paragraph down from where you're at. In C. Go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. Operation, instrument, phonograph, machine, device. Okay, I got that. Okay. Within 50 feet of the building, structure, vehicle of over 85 decibels. Any property owned by the face evidence in violation of the same. So, I mean, we could change that phonograph to a CD player or whatever the heck we're using now, but basically that would cover any kind of radio or other device.
Charlie, they're
Yeah.
saying they can't hear you.
Okay, all right. So, I mean, you take it back to committee and look at it and
So I think it solves the issue that they're trying that you guys are referring. What you're referring to is definitely addressed. So if that's If that's all we're really concerned about, then if that's the only thing we're truly going after, then it meets the intent of getting you something to stop that.
Well, like, it still could go back to committee to clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could go ahead, I mean, if you want, you can pass this one, like Tom said, amend it.
Yeah.
It definitely solves the issue that they're referring to.
Yeah.
So we can at least give something to give them some ammo.
Because right now they have nothing. Right, John?
Correct. There's nothing. Barking dogs is the
Yeah.
only thing you can go
Yeah.
after right now. And actually, I don't think this has barking dogs in it. But that's under a nuisance.
Should be a nuisance,
That's a
yeah,
different
yeah.
section.
So if you guys decide to pass it, then we'll send it back to Roby. Maybe you could go to that meeting.
Yeah, I missed
With
that when he had the other
concerns.
one, but yeah.
Anybody, I mean, those are open meetings, public meetings, so.
I'll make a motion to Dalton pass.
Second.
Clark, Brenner,
Yes.
Doobie,
Yes.
McWilliams.
Yes.
Yes.
First reading of ordinance number 2020-57, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of 88,000 of bonds for the purpose of acquiring fire packs and related equipment and declaring an emergency. Okay, here it goes.
You want to sponsor?
I'll sponsor.
Yes.
I think our auditor is gonna
Do
speak.
you want to know what it's all about? Have you just read the whole thing? Pretty clear on it. And there's some related other things in there that need signed by the loans and things. It's all works. It's the USDA loan.
Gary, make sure that mic is on.
It is.
Okay, cool.
And the reason we're doing is we get a $100,000 grant that's non-repayable, and then we get the 88,000 loan that you have to get that to go with it. So that's, and we do need it in an emergency. So we've already ordered the equipment. They told us to. Questions?
We got a sponsor?
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to suspend rules.
Thanks, Gary.
That's on a
Do you have
second.
a second? Brenner,
Yes.
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 Doobie,
Yes.
McWilliams,
Yes.
Brenner, make a motion.
do you have a second?
second.
Clark,
Yes.
Woolham,
Yes.
Doobie,
Yes.
McWilliams.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mayor?
Okay. There was a couple of things that I wanted to present tonight, but our law director's not here, but I talked to him. We'll bring it to you next week, and that's to purchase the Vector truck and the track steer that you approved the appropriations last meeting. That'll come next week. And then some tightening up on the mobile home house trailer ordinance, and I'll bring that before you next week as well. What we're working on now is, let's go through infrastructure first, then I'll get to the fun part, which is the budgets. The infrastructure, the New York Avenue and 10th Street project should start next week. That's a sewer mitigation project for wastewater treatment. The depot will start next week as well. They're going to start re-roofing that. That's part of the grant project that you all approved for us. We're looking at rebuilding our lift stations. We have some problems. We had a lift station that was down for 2.5 days out by the golf course, and as we look and go through those, and the service director is working on that that project's going to be pretty pricey, but it's something we need to do. Trees, we removed a few trees by the depot, by the side that was overshadowing the roof and pressing into the foundation along Railroad Avenue. Our street guys did that, and then today they took out trees down on First Street down by Diva Joyce's, pushing up the sidewalks. They'll come back in and take out those sidewalk slabs that are crippling hazards, and probably use like bug dust to fill it until we can get the concrete and refill those. We're going to continue to do that with our street guys. It's paving and patching over pretty much in November. When snow season gets here, and it gives them something to do, and also we're addressing the trees that are pushing up sidewalks and downtown, and then we'll be working on some other trees. They've been cleaning up the cemetery. I don't know if you've been up there recently, but the guys kept them a little bit longer. You take out trees that are pushing up headstones things like that. And those guys have been doing a nice job of that. We have some trees to take out down by the water plant and the sewer plants as well. Sewer plant upgrades, there's a handout, I think I went on each side. And Councilman Dooley, if you want to look through that, that was what your $16,000 that you appropriated about 6 weeks to 2 months ago paid for. If you look at the last 2 pages, third one from the back, shows what the wiring looked like before and what it looks like now. But the sewer plant's operating in the manner that it was designed to operate in now. So whenever it rains, we don't have to send a guy down there to press buttons to manually operate it. So it's up to speed now. Had a meeting with Tom Randall, our plant superintendent, today. He's happy with it. Everything's ready to go. It's supposed to run. We do have a couple projects there for next year that we'll go after grants for, to some screens and some UV treatments of the sewage, but that'll be coming next year. Got a message from Sam Brady that the city businesses in the city of Wellston have received $38,789 in grants from CARES funding to help support their businesses during this pandemic. His group had been working on that to help folks along those lines. So that's quite a bit of money to help out businesses in town. Now let's on to, I don't have a whole lot else. We fixed 355 water leaks this month too. So not major ones. You didn't see a lot of them, but 355 that we fixed. The budget. We are going to be about $100,000 shortfall in the general fund. We're going to lose $40-some thousand from interest on the revolving, or not the revolving loan, the rainy day fund, you call it, whatever that was where we sold the electric company. Our interest went down from $50,000. We project $7,000 in interest this year because I think the percentage is like 0.003 in that CD. You can only put it in a CD. By law, we can only keep it in a CD account. So we're going to lose that. And thanks to our neighbors to the south that passed their income tax, we're going to lose between $40,000 and $60,000 in revenue from the income tax issue. So $100,000 short there. Overall, from the preliminaries of the budgets, I went through with every department. The service director and I went in meetings with everyone except fire, and I've got a pretty good handle on what they're going to do there. We're going to be about $153,000 in the red next year. The upside is there's really no upside other than the fact that we do have carryover money that would cover that in the general fund, and we do, and the other departments also have carryover money. Water department is short, will be short, and but it'll be close. And gas, we're going to lose $35,000 in streets and gas tax. That's projected from our auditors. So hopefully gas tax will come back. We'll miss that. And then when they signed up for the CD, it's a 6-month CD, so hopefully interest rates will go back up and we'll gain a little bit that. I'm not holding my breath. And the income tax is the income tax. We will not gain that back. That's going. One of the ways that we have to mitigate some of that, we deferred buying a police cruiser. We took that out, and we also cut back on some of the code stuff. And that's the biggest. I think the biggest hit that happened in the general fund, as I went through it, was we created a code department a few years ago, which was needed. Absolutely, I think everyone agrees with that. But it's not self-funding. Of all the mowing we do, we get about $12,000 to $13,000 back, and so that's caused us to be short a little bit every year. And this is just another piece of it. Then couple that with that $100,000. Actually, the cuts we made, we're doing pretty well. We can't help the income loss because the general fund only has so many sources of income, as you all know. We will be fine next year, but at some point, we're going to have to look at long-term what a solution is because we can't live on carryover. We have almost $1 million in carryover. That'll be reduced by $100,000 next year. 9 years, if you keep following that trend, we'll have problems. So we're going to have to look at some other solutions to that. Probably start working on that next year. And we don't want to cut police, obviously. We don't want to cut them because those things are all working. So we're going to have to look at other alternatives. And And so for budgets, I thought I would email that out to the finance committee, everyone, or email or mail it out to the finance committee so you'll have a chance to look at it. But like Monday, and if you want to get together and talk about it before the next council, I know we only have 3 more meetings before the end of the year. We've got to get this thing passed before the end of the year. So we'll have it to you. Actually, I may even be able to I probably won't be able to get it down to you Monday. I've got the rough draft for meeting with auditors in the morning to go through my notes, and we'll get it out to you. And we'll go from there, and we'll meet as often as you want to meet, but it's pretty much is what it is. We've cut a lot of stuff out of there, but we still have work we got to get done in the city. Sewer department's healthy, water department's healthy, garbage department's healthy. Street will be iffy. We'll make it work. The biggest problem we have right now is the general fund. It just the revenue stream is just not there. We are less than, well, now that they have their income tax, we are less of a quarter of general fund is what Jackson has. So, and we have basically the same size city. But we'll figure out how to make it work. We'll be fine for next year. We'll just have to sit down as a group probably and figure out where we're going to go in the future. That's pretty much all I have. Any questions? I'm sure you have questions about the budgeting and where we are.
Gonna meet 6 o'clock,
We can meet
2 weeks from tonight.
We can meet anytime you want.
Let's
If you
do
want to
that.
meet, if you want to meet before then. I mean, what I'd like to do is if you can meet before then, so we have something to present, just at your convenience. So I have something to present to council because we're gonna have to start working on getting this passed. I don't think we pass budgets as an emergency. I don't think that's the right way to do it. So whenever you guys
Week from
decide.
tonight,
That's fine, 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock,
Yeah, something I can tell me
6 o'clock on the 12th. 13th. How about the 12th?
12? Okay. So that's the public notice. So anyone who wants to talk about budget, come on down. Actually, we probably should do that live, though. It's a public meeting. We're having closed meetings, so we probably should.
Yeah.
Where's my AV guy? Next Thursday. All right, so we'll be on Facebook Live doing budgets. That'll be a first. That'll be fun. So, okay. That's all I have, unless you have any questions about anything. Okay. Thank you.
Service director.
Well, Charlie, it was a nice day out today. He pretty much hit everything. As far as the trees, we got looking at them a little bit closer, sidewalk-wise. We missed it by about 10, 12 years. So that's where we're at with the sidewalks. We got those sections out. Get ready to pull them next year. But they're pretty big trip hazards. So Charlie posted some things on our website. We went down and looked at some of them. So, and then down at the depot, that's a big issue with where some of the trees were planted right up against the depot. But we'll kill the stumps out, and got about one more tree to take down. It's up there by the depot. So we're good on that after on the depot part, tree-wise. No, we're not going to remove every tree down from the depot. We're not going to do that. They're in a good spot. They're manageable. I don't know if you saw the pictures. So Charlie covered about everything. So trash cans. Really good feedback on the trash cans. I don't know if you guys have been a lot, but we're right there on the cans. A lot of people order extra cans. It's pretty convenient to have 2 cans for a little while.
They're saying they can't hear you, Jeff.
Okay. Is there anything you guys have, any questions or anything?
It looks like there was a new stop sign added for maybe 4 weeks now.
The one over here. Okay, yeah, we're doing me and utility director Jeff Bates. We talked about putting the signs right out there in the intersection.
Yeah, that's where they are.
Yeah, we just talked about that yesterday. So that was something we kind of talked about as far as a safety issue. It's just a precaution. I haven't had any accidents or anything. Yeah, no accidents.
Okay.
But I've seen a couple people flow through the street. So if I've seen that, that was what I wanted to.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I feel it can't hurt anything. Economically.
Would it be possible to see what it would cost to remove the red light down in front of the old high school and move up there? What would it cost to move one of those? Have we looked into it already?
We're actually looking at moving that down by the bus garage.
Off when the buses come out in the morning?
Yeah,
The
but
purpose of the buses and people in and out from football games, just any cross country, just anything there as far as with what
We had a person get hit there.
plus people, when they come in from Malga, they cut through by Wendy's to get to Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah, it's pretty busy. Pretty busy.
Question.
The one on 14th because that's
The one by Dairy Queen? Oh, 40, yeah.
I disagree with that. That one there definitely needs to stay there.
All 40.
When Pillsbury's out, you'd never be able to get out
Get
of
out on
93.
14th Street.
We've discussed this many times before. It's only been decided that it must be.
The one in front of the high school is probably the least needed
Yes,
one.
that's correct.
It is.
Because I was there for the high school. The high school's gone. So
I've been thinking about that for like the past 5 or 6 years.
I agree. Me too.
Before I
Since
got
I've been
here.
home, I've been thinking about it. What a useless light.
You guys need to think about some other things in your life.
All the details. We want the details. The details are important.
I agree.
You need to talk.
Anybody else have anything?
When they did the railroad tracks, was they gonna put gates up on those, Charlie? Or
Which ones?
the ones on Broadway?
Broadway's going to have gates. The project's already been laid out.
Oh,
They'll
okay.
extend the island between Railroad Avenue to the railroad tracks, and they'll put an island on the other side, and that way the gates don't have to be so long, and they'll keep you from cutting through them. But yes, those are in the works, and potentially one on 93 by Montgomery Trucking as well, because there's really a big push on state roads to have gates down. And if they actually, we've shown McNally Building to 2 different groups as a possible purchase. And if they do that, they'll probably fire up that railroad spur that crosses there at the bus station or bus garage, and they'll probably have to put gates there as well. That may be a problem for putting a traffic light there too, because the railroad tracks would have to do it, because they have that right away.
So
Yeah.
it is a busy intersection.
But Broadway's definitely going to happen, probably next year, and 93 maybe next year, a couple of years. Pennsylvania will be based on what we do at McNally Building.
Thank you.
Auditor?
I do need my statement of exposition and appropriation.
I make a motion to approve them.
Do you have a second?
Clark?
Brenner,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
McWilliams,
Yes.
Yes.
And I do have 2 line item notices to approve in order to get the budget actions straight. Just to adjust from one fund to the other.
Any questions? Need a motion?
Clark?
I'll second.
Clark,
Yes.
Brenner,
Yes.
Beebe,
Yes.
McWilliams,
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Fire?
No, thank you. I don't have anything.
Zoning?
He said no, thank you as well.
Thank you. Chief, please.
Stay busy.
Okay, we're staying busy. You got to report. Our prisoner transports have been down all year long. It's not going to stay like that forever. The jails just aren't taking people, and once the jails start to open back up, the judge is going to start putting more people in jail. So that's going to happen.
Is that because of COVID?
Yeah. It's affecting everyone. So he's very understanding that we can't find anywhere to put people because of COVID. So he's been kind of laying off, but he's going to have to get back after it. So that will pick back up. People are still. I always notice the calls for service about suspicious vehicles and suspicious persons. 76 calls for that in 1 month. That's a lot. That means people are paying attention, and that means that we've probably prevented a lot of stuff from happening. I like that. There's no way to gauge what we've prevented, but that always makes me happy to see that we get a lot of people paying attention, calling in, hey, this part of this guy over here, he doesn't normally walk down this street. So that's it. So you guys have any questions or anything?
Yeah, actually I do. It just
Okay.
dawned on me. I should have asked you earlier. Where are we with Community Watch? I've had people ask me about that. We haven't had a meeting in a while, so I don't know where Bran is on that.
I don't either.
Okay.
I will check.
Well, that's why it just, yeah, so it just dawned on me.
I would like to try
Didn't
to
mean
start it
check,
back up.
but it just, if I don't say things when it pops in my head, I forget.
My
so.
thought was kind of try it again
Okay.
after the first of the year, after
Okay.
the holidays.
All right. Just we want to be able to give folks an answer that are
Exactly.
interested.
Yeah.
But, thank you.
Any questions? Thank you, Chief. So we do have a treasurer's report. It's in your packet to.
I got it after right in the back.
Motion to approve treasurer's report.
Renner,
Yes.
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Doobie,
Yes.
McWilliams,
Yes. Motion to adjourn.
Willem, second.
Everybody.
Woolham,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Doobie,
Yes.
McWilliams,
Yes.
Yes.
Turn off your microphones. Save batteries.